Varun, you have hired about 500 employees. How much money you're expected to make at every age? 17 to 19.
I don't think 17 and 19 should really have financial goals. I think it's a lot about learning who you are, learning what you enjoy. The worst thing to do in a job is to be trapped in something you don't enjoy. So I tried everything to find out what I really enjoy more than the other. You should not have financial targets.
19 to 21.
I think 19 to 21 is when you enter the workforce, and there's a very powerful trap there that you should avoid. Sometimes when you hire for too specific a role at that age, and you'll know this by the job title, right? It'll have more words in it. I'll give you a very good example. There was a guy, we were looking at hiring him. He's a VFX artist, and he spent the last 10 years just cleaning wires from movies. And we had segmenting tools that could do that automatically. Make sure that doesn't happen to yourself. If you can somehow get an internship or some sort of way to work with like the top people who are really successful, people who have seen scale, because you'll skip a few steps and save a few years on how to think and how to behave.
21 to 23.
I think 21 to 23 is when you now start having financial responsibilities. Some of you will have to send money home. A good salary bracket, and here's where salary brackets kick in, is like enough to survive, but enough to also have a little bit of free time at the end of the day to experiment. So maybe like 50k to a lakh in India in tier 1 at least is a reasonable number. And I think there's a trap here, which is that you can also look for a delta. You can say that I'm making a lakh, I want to make 2 lakhs. But if that 2 lakhs, that extra lakh comes at the cost of you experimenting and learning new tooling, you will pay the price for that at 27. I think it's better to invest in yourself, and investing in yourself requires a little bit of time. So I would always trade off a little more time than a little more money at that age.
23 to 25.
Well, now you're professionally in the workforce and your skills are valuable. Networking with people in your industry, learning more about your specific industry, having unique insights, having a unique point of view is more important than making money. I think 1.5 to 2 lakhs is a very good number for this age group.
25 to 27.
So actually at 25 to 27, you're supposed to take a dip in salary to try something a little bit harder. Maybe you go join an earlier stage startup. Maybe you start your own startup. You need to make sure that you're closing in on getting to leadership. So whatever you were making at 24, 25, you should actually take a little less than that between 25 and 27. And you're substituting it with the risk. You're just hoping that there's a multiplier effect, right? Whatever risk you take at 25 to 27, it should double your salary or triple your earnings, or maybe even 10x your earnings.
27 to 30.
Between 27 to 30, your risk should have paid off. So you should double or triple your salary. If you're in a metro, 2-3 lakhs a month, or in some cases, if your risk really paid off, then you should be making 10x that money. Now your family and kids to take care of, so your risk capacity actually drops. And if you've taken no risk, then you need to substitute that with loyalty. So whichever company you worked at, if now you understand the company, you're now an executive. You know so much context about the company. You can make decisions on behalf of the CEO or the executive team or whatever. And I think that's the right place to be if you've played the not so risky path. But I always recommend that this is the place to know whether you played your cards right or not.
30 plus.
You can't afford to go back down to zero, which is funny because when I started EOS, I was 29. So I was okay with going back to zero then, but I'd lived all my life like that. So I was okay with the worst case scenario. I'd made peace with the worst case scenario. Your biggest currency there is not really money, it's trust inside of whatever ecosystem you worked in.